and welcome to the Disability Hour on THD TV. If you are joining me for the first time, my name is Sanjit Rami, your host. This is a program that looks at the life of people with disability in our societies, especially those who are impacting our community in a positive way. People involved in all sectors with disability. We are back and fully back with this hour. Every week you will see us talking to a person with challenges who is very important in our society. But don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And also sponsors are invited if you want to be a part of this show, because this is a show that I believe you will always want to watch and you will always follow. This week we have a guest, but I'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to the Disability Hour on THD TV, live coming to you from the Mbowen Clinic, where we visit today a prominent Gambian doctor who has been doing tremendously well for our health sector in this country. Just like I said before going for the break, don't forget to follow this platform, that is THD TV, Gambia. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And send us your comments. That is what we need. We want to know how you feel about our program. So without much ado, let me introduce our guest to you this week, Dr. Abubakar Jain. Doctor, thank you so very much once again. It's always a pleasure talking to you. We feel necessary today to come here, talk to you at your working place and see, hear from you and your stories, especially about this show, that bring changes in our community about the perception of people with disability. But first, tell us, who is Dr. Jain?
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Dr. Jain. Abubakar is my first name. Yeah. I'm a physician and a nephrologist. I specialize in internal medicine, and also my final specialization is on kidney-related diseases. Yeah. I'm Gambian. I'm from rural Gambia. I come from Brikama. I grew up there. Only came to Banjul after I finished my high school, so maybe I was already adult before I came to Banjul. So I'm a village boy. Yeah. I come from there, and I went to school there. I went to school, MK school. Wow. I did my high school there, and I went to. Then I came to Banjul. I came to the Combos to do my university education. I did my university education in Gambia.
In Gambia?
Yes, I was among the first batch of Gambian trained doctors. 1999, when the university started, I was lucky to be among the first batch.
Wow.
I finished in 2006. Yes. After 2 years of my internship, I finished. I went to do my postgraduate. I've been to so many places to study, but basically where I ended up landing was in Ghana, where I did my membership for the West African College. I did also my fellowship for the West African College. Of course, I did both College, Ghana College and West African College. But for the purpose of this meeting, where we are going to be discussing about practice in Gambia, since Gambia is part of WAHO, which is, one of the founding members of the West African College. That's the college that trained me. I did my membership. I finished as a fellow in West African College of Physicians.
Well, this is a huge, experience along the way before we reach to where we are. But we're still going to stay, at the early age. You come from rural area, and Hermitage used to be a school of, dominance, especially, going by the background of people who goes to that school. And disability at that time, the awareness of disability at that time was very limited in our societies. So how do you survive your early journey? A wheelchair bearer going to school in a community that does not know too much about disability?
So, in fact, I will get you back to what my father used to say. When I was going to everyday school, yes. In fact, my father didn't want me to go. My father didn't want me to go there. He wanted me to come stay with some family. But from childhood, I always wanted to be independent. I like to do things my own way, and because of that, coming down to stay with people, they have to look after you. I thought that would be so much a problem. I'd rather have it my own way and go live in a boarding house. So when I went to January, in fact, that was my first time going there. Right. When I went to register in the school, that was my first time going to January. And I went there, I had this senior colleague, senior brother who, in fact, that was the first time I was meeting him. He now works for yes. He's an engineer. He used to be, then he was in Form 4 and I was in grade 7. So when my father came into the school and met him outside and told him that I don't know anybody there, and he said, no, he will look after me. So that's like, this man doesn't know what his responsibility is taking. To look after me will be tough, you know. So I think I wasn't the first person with a wheelchair disabled in that school. Yeah, because there was somebody there before me. Although I've not met him before. They said his name is Bamba, but I never met him. In fact, he finished the school well before I came.
You came there, sure.
So when I came there, like, okay, how do I fit in this place? You know, you're in an environment you don't have ramp. You're in an environment where even the classroom doesn't have space for you. I mean, you're in an environment where, you go to the dining hall, you tend to struggle to find your way where you're going to sit to eat, and then you go to the bathroom to bath, and there's no space, no ramp for you to climb. When you enter the place, then you find out that the taps are even high up. You have to, because then I was quite young, I had to sit on the fence of the tap to get water by yourself. We are all young, you know, nobody takes charge of anybody. You know, at the first few, then I was staying in that place, and Kevin was quite worried about me every time, you know, when I want to do something new. It's like, can you do this? I said, but I have to learn how to do it before I can do it. You know, the first time I was going to London, I didn't know how to launder at all. When I was leaving home, I didn't know how to launder clothes. So he told me he would get me water. He wanted to do the laundry for me. I said, no, I will do it myself. But get me water, and because I don't know how to get water from that place to come and launder. So he brought me water and brought me soap, and so I started doing the laundry. The first few weeks was quite difficult. And in fact, until I left the school, I don't think I got well with laundry. I mean, I keep postponing it all the time. If it's Friday, I'll say, okay, I'll do it on Friday afternoon. Saturday, Sunday. It was late Sunday that I'll decide on when I'll do my laundry. So I'll do the laundry, and then late in the evening will be when I'll do my ironing before the school day starts the next day. But you know, the school became so homely to me. At some point, I got so used to the school that even more than home. In fact, everybody in the school knows me. I'm I was very troublesome, moving around the school. I knew everywhere. So I was very used to studying outside because I like very serene environment to study. So I'll be in the school by 2 o'clock, 2:30 after lunch, after prayers. 3 o'clock I'll leave to go to behind the school. It's a bush there. I sit on those neem trees. That's where I study. I study there till 5 o'clock, because then we start activities. I come back. That's the time I sleep. I'll sleep. Then when people are waking up for Maghrib prayers, getting up for Maghrib, then I'm up, take my bath, then go pray Maghrib, go to study. Because I cannot study in a crowd, so the classroom studies was never helpful for me. In fact, I had a lot of problems with seniors at that time, because during those times, you cannot keep me in the classroom. You cannot keep me doing anything. When the people are going to bed, you know, this boarding house, we have this, what they call lights out. When you are a junior, after 10:30, you're not supposed to be awake. You should go to sleep. I will not go to sleep. That's the time I want to study. So this was a big problem for the seniors. No, you have to go and study. You have to stop studying. You have to go and sleep. You have to wake up in the morning. I said, no, but this is the time I can study. So that's when I used to study. So at the end, I think they got used to me. And I didn't know that I'm that kind of person, so they'll let me study after that time. I study till 2, 3 o'clock. When light goes up, I remember the light goes up at 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock at night, they'll put up the lights, and I'll take my hurricane lamp to study. So the beginning was quite a challenge, but I think subsequently it wasn't wrong that I chose that place to go to school. I did very well, not academically. I mean, yes, academic excellence, but I think it had molded me into what I am today.
To prepare you for the challenges
I was going to face.
Yes, because that's why I want us to still stay with that. Because from the that level of education, you also came to a university where there is no ramp. And you are passing with challenges. You know, before we reach to the final stage where you today call a doctor, this is to give people with disability that nothing comes easy. It doesn't matter how you look like.
Not at all.
You know,
at all.
Take us through your university journey. And we have heard from the Gambia side, it was a bit challenging, but at the end of the day, because of the perseverance and the dedication, you were able to accommodate yourself in that situation. But what happened in the university sector?
So I went. In fact, the university, it's not only me that had a challenge, but the university itself was a challenge, because this is the first time the Gambia had a university. And Gambia had a university, and the university was starting with the medical school, which is, in fact, other universities will end up having a medical school. But to start with medical school was, in fact, when the university started, there was no university. When the medical school started, there was no university. So we were the first set of students for the university. So you can imagine how challenging that was. And then somebody like me would be in that class, and everything was a start. From the university to the hospital, as a teaching hospital, we just started. The labs, we just started. Everything we just started. In fact, when I was entering the medical school, when I finished high school and I came back to do the medical school, in fact, the first time I went and did pre-medical training, we did 3 months of preparation for the medical school. When I went for the first interview, they said, well, they don't think I can do medicine. I should sit and wait for another program to come.
Wow.
So I was not happy.
Yes.
So I went back home. I was offered to do other program before, and I was offered scholarship. I didn't take it. I want to wait for medicine. Now medicine is here. I've done 3 months of preparatory program. Now they're saying I cannot do medicine. So the next day I was called back for another interview.
Yes.
And this time around they told me no, I shouldn't be bothered. What reason why they asked me not to do it? I mean, I should just know that they've offered me the scholarship. So now I should take opportunity and take advantage of that and start the program. So I started the program. I started the program, and we were doing our program at the School of Nursing, and I'm not sure even up to now the place has ramps. I think, if I remember very well, there's only one ramp that is in one of the dormitories just by the mosque.
Yes.
Apart from that, there's no ramp.
Yes. Yes.
So we had to struggle to go into class, come back from class, leave the hospital, leave the school, go to the hospital. Of course, the hospital had ramps,
yes,
but the classrooms were not that accessible. Some of the classrooms were upstairs. I had a very wonderful set of classmates that were ever ready to help me anywhere possible.
Wow.
In fact, one of them, Dr. Peter, he had got so conversant with the wheelchair that, like, wherever we go, he was always next to me, like, for any opportune moment for him to help. Like, everywhere we go, both here and outside the country.
That's amazing.
Yes, so we'll go to the lab. Medical school, the lab at the beginning of the year, your program is quite a challenge, because that most of the things has to do with lab. Is anatomy, is it microbiology, is it histology? It has to do with labs. You have these microscopes that you have to put on the table. Yeah. Sometimes they have to take a chair for me at the close to the table and put the microscope at my height for me to see. Wow. We used to have a 10-header microscope that we all have to sit for them to teach us. So you look, somebody else look, all of you look at the same thing, so they will show you. And that is one, is set already, so you can't change the position. You can't change the position. So you have to struggle to make sure that you get that height to be able to look and feel right. But I think for all in all, I think, yes, challenges, but I think it was a very important time in my life that I think was the most important time in my life. Reason being that this is I've never related to any doctor before I went to medical school. Yes. Where I come from, there nobody was a doctor there. Yes. I've come to learn a trade that I don't have anybody I could take example with. Like, I've seen the person go to school or whatever. In fact, this was the first time somebody go to school in the country. In the country. So, having to go through that, having to see it happening with my own little experience with people around, it will give me a motivation to see how much we can help to make whoever else is there, to make them whatever they can be. it's just a matter of being ready. If you are ready, you can do it.
I was about to ask this, but you have already, answered that part of this discussion. That is, where do you draw this inspiration from to become a medical doctor? One will say, was it because you found yourself in a condition as a person with challenges, or this was something that come when,
Overnight. There are two things that were in my mind. Yes. Like, maybe I should be an engineer, because I was very good with figures. Yes. In fact, one of my friends always teased me that because one of my uncles is an engineer, so I want to be an engineer. Yeah. I said no. I think I love challenges, so I said maybe I'll be an engineer. But at some point, I had this teacher, chemistry teacher, Patrick. He told me, Abubakar, your combination of your subjects and your combination of your ability, you don't think you should do medicine? One day he said this to me in the chemistry classroom. He said it to me like casually like that. We were looking at something, and then he told me that. He told me, you're very good with physics, you're very good with maths, you're very good with biology. Your chemistry is exceptional. If you put this together, this combination, you'll be a very good person for medicine. So that day I went home, I was like, medicine, I've never seen that before, I've never done that before. In fact, all the people around I've seen are nurses that I've seen, but like to see a doctor, I've never seen a doctor before. So I said, okay, maybe I should think about this. Yeah. So I said, okay, maybe I should. That's when this thing came to me.
So that statement was very powerful statement.
Yes, it was. Yes. It was very powerful.
Because it changed the perception of your direction.
Yes. Because earlier I was like, maybe I should be an engineer. Because I had very good.
Yes.
I had very good skills in figures. I was very good with maths. I was very good with physics. But then this really had a twist. In fact, I remember when I was doing, I did technical drawing, and also at that time, my teacher was teaching me technical drawing because I didn't do technical drawing early, and I started at high school. At the beginning of my high school, I never did technical drawing. It was after I went to grade 10 when I started technical drawing. So other people had already done it, but when I came to start, because of how quickly I could be able to adapt, my teacher was like, "This is your calling, so take this." So, it was like, take this.
So things were happening miraculously.
Yes. So you should take this. You be a civil engineer. You will do so well. So, but then Patrick really gave me that insight. Like, look, with this combination of your subject, this is one thing you could do very well.
I wish we're going to talk a lot about, because like I said, it's never done with Dr. Abubakar Jan, because we have seen his impact in our country. We'll talk about the COVID. You were very, very important during the COVID period. When people were hiding, you were taking the risk to be with patients with COVID. But when did you start taking the responsibility of the field that you have, thought of going through? Like, when do you start the real doctor work?
So when I finished, in fact, when we went to school, we were the guinea pigs, they called us, because we just started medical school. So everything started with us. Our first year, second year, third year. So when we started our clinical year, we were frontline because the doctors were with us, like you deal with directly. Not like now when you have a consultant, you have a resident, you have junior resident, you have senior resident, you have a house officer. All these kind of doctors are there currently. But before then, it's only you and your consultant that is around. So we started taking calls. We will be on call with the consultant until we got to almost going to our final year. We take calls alone, and the consultant comes to see us. So we started the responsibilities very early in our career. So when we started our house job, we finished our house job for 2 years. Then we went and because we were putting pressure that we want to go and further our education.
So the passion was there. So let's look at your responsibilities back home. You have lead or be part of leaders in big institutions that will indicate to anyone seeing you or meeting you for the first time to say you have not come from the back door. You have merits where you are. Let's talk about some of the challenges that you face in some of these big institutions that you work with, and work with people that are well known in this country, but yet still you were able to deliver. How were you able to do that? And what are some of these challenges that you believe today still ring in your mind?
So the problem is, I think, love for country is force. Okay, whatever you do in this world, we need to have love for country. I came to Gambia, I had so many opportunities, but I thought medicine was, to come and practice medicine back home was one of the most delightful things I've had, to come and look after my people. Because the point is that the country has given me what, I'm not sure, if I were not Gambian, maybe I wouldn't have had that opportunity. We underestimate what has been given to us. I went to school, I had a free education because I had a scholarship, Gambia government and trust fund scholarship from grade 7 to grade 12.
Wow.
I got a WQ scholarship at medical school until I finished. I got a government scholarship to do my postgraduate from membership to fellowship. So my parents never paid fees for me.
Wow, that's a big blessing.
And for me, that is enough. For me, that's enough for me to come back. Whatever sacrifice I was going to do, or I am doing today, or I was going to do, was mainly meant to see to the good, common good that I was going to do. Wherever I trained, there are many people like me who are that education that I have, but we don't have many. We are not endowed with such persons in this country. And it doesn't matter how much I was going to get in terms of pay, but the fact that my people need me gave me a reason to come back. In fact, I remember when I was coming back, one of my colleagues told me that your people, he said you don't have a nephrologist in Gambia, and you're the only nephrologist in Gambia, and they are going to take you to go and look after a strange disease like COVID.
Yes.
Are they sacrificing you? Not to say sacrifice per se, but in fact, no, somebody should take the responsibility. Somebody has to do. And thank God that I was able to deliver during those periods, because it was also one of the very trying moments in the country. We did so many crazy things to stay afloat, to keep people alive. I thank God for so many patriotic Gambians who made that possible.
At some point, your family were concerned about your life, because you leave home sometime, you don't go back until the following day.
No, I don't come back for weeks.
Wow.
Yes, I stay away.
And you stay with the patient that nobody will want to get close to at the time.
Yes, so I used to be at the hotel for 2 weeks, 3 weeks before going home. And sometimes, if I feel like I'm not sure about my contact with patients, I stay away from people. So because I was worried that I will carry the disease home. So when I feel I've gotten very close to patients and I may have some mistakes in my safety at some point, so I stay away from my family. I stay away from everybody, because if anything is going to happen to me, let it happen to me alone. But I shouldn't go and transport it home to go and give to my family or give to anybody else. So it was that bad. And there's no sleep, because you cannot sleep. People are sick and they're calling you. At some point when the system went so bad, we were the call center, we were the response, we were everything. Like everybody, whatever is wrong is us. They will call us all the time. And I remember those were quite difficult moments. Yeah. It was in the middle of rainy season at some point.
And you have a fellowship behind you, are leading the team. So there are a lot of people who are working behind you. You serve as a mentor as well.
Very dedicated team. I am not sure people know how much some of those people have sacrificed to be where they were. Do you know that some of those nurses and some of those doctors, their parents didn't know they were doing COVID duties?
Wow.
Yes.
So that was the sacrifice for our nation.
Yes. They didn't tell their families that this was what we were doing. In fact, one of them, once she got COVID, it's a lady, so it's like, well, how am I going to tell the family that this is what happened to her? Because he never told the family that that's what the duties he was doing. Some of them, the families, because I was in the process, I was leading the program, I was leading the team, they decided to let them be part of the program. So, you see how much that responsibility is. Somebody, his only son or his breadwinner is now asking to come and join you because you've taken part in the activity. So leading the activity, they have asked you to work with them. So it was a challenge. It was a huge challenge. And you don't know the difficulties in dealing with challenges until situations like that come to you.
At that time, somebody told me, the doctors that were doing that duties, they are just like soldiers who will go to the field, to the battlefield, and not worry as far as they are defending their nation. Let the bullet come from nowhere. But in terms of those young people around you, and you are leading the team, and you are the only person with challenges there, how supportive were they to you? Was there any kind of this relationship, this brotherhood relationship
We are
that
like
was
family.
running?
We are like family. In fact, we discussed everything. I remember when we were in Atlantic Hotel, we had our first mortality. One person died with us the first time. We came back, it was in Ramadan, we came back. That afternoon there was so somber. The whole hotel was quiet. When I came back, a few of them, there's some who are very jovial,
Yes.
Whenever however situation we are in, they are always jovial.
Yeah.
But that day they were all quiet. So I left. I went to call my cousin who lives in Banjul. So they should go and look for a goat for me from this place. Banjul. Outside Banjul, there is this place they sell goats.
This livestock, yes, exactly.
So he should go and kill the goat, take it to the oven and bring it for us. We are going to use that for the iftar. So we came during the iftar.
It was a challenging time during the Ramadan.
Then. So we used to break our fast in the evening together. And this is the time that they break the news about new cases to us.
Yes.
When we are sitting and having our fast, breaking our fast, that's the time the numbers will come.
Yes.
That we got tested like 100 patients, 10 of them are positive. Or this number are positive. And we are evacuating, we are picking this patient. This has a symptom, has symptom, this one doesn't have symptom, this one has this. So we break the news there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you can imagine you are going home, when you are going to town and you don't know people who are sick and you're meeting them, but this one you are going to meet people that you know that they are already sick, and it's a risk for them to give you the sickness. But these youths were like always eager to know what to do next.
Wow.
Always eager to know what to do next. Some of them have never been married before. They have no child.
And giving themselves out for the nation.
For the nation like that.
Wow, that was
So for me, that was like a motivation for me. I think they are even better than me because I was doing that. I had my 2 children, I had my wife, and I had got to achieve so much in my profession.
So you look back on those young kids that have not gone that far yet.
And they are that dedicated with no money. There was no extra payment for them. Some of them just finished school, like nursing school, to join us.
That was a big sacrifice.
Yes.
And you are also into a field, doctor, that not many Gambians study. And we have seen the rise of kidney issues in this country. And people are concerned and worried. And I'm not sure how you manage yourself together with your movements, family, and able to see most of these patients that will travel to go anywhere they can meet you as a person for consultation or for even medication.
Yeah, so Gambia, we as just like any African country or any black race, we have a challenge when it comes to kidney disease, and we have not so much aware of this challenge. We are more than 10 times higher at risk of having kidney disease than Caucasians, and in fact, this is basically because we don't know how to handle salt. When you have high blood pressure, you have and you are black, and somebody else has high blood pressure who is white, you are more than 10 times at the risk of having a heart attack, more than or kidney failure or stroke than Caucasian, because our ancestors weren't eating salt.
Yes.
So our genetic makeup is not prepared for salt. That aside, 10,000 years ago, in this part of the world, there was a lot of trypanosomiasis. I'm sure you heard of the sleeping sickness.
Sleeping sickness, yes. That's the only way I can understand it. But your medical term will just take me to the bush.
Yeah. So sleeping sickness is, naturally there's what they call natural selection. When animals like we are,
yes,
when we live, we tend to strive, and the one survival of the fittest. If you are stronger, you're able to overcome certain difficulties, then you survive. Those who don't overcome it, they don't even reproduce for their genetic makeup to proceed. So that trypanosomiasis has a special kind of, there are special kind of people that strive with it. They have a mutation in their gene called ApoL1. That mutation in their gene makes them to strive with trypanosomiasis. But that trypanosomiasis that had been going on for years and that made those group of people to survive for a long time has now a little effect on people's kidney. Those who have it, their kidneys don't last long. If they have high blood pressure, it gets worse. If they have sickle cell, their kidneys will fail quickly. If they have any infection, their kidney will fail quickly. And even if you give them kidney transplant, their own kidney, give it to somebody else as a transplant, it will not serve the purpose like it does with people who don't have the mutation. And that about half of our population have some, at least some mutation in that gene in Africa. And even those people who were in this part of Africa that have migrated to Europe because during the time of the transatlantic slave trade, about 25% of them have it. So that is why you find out that even in the US, where you have the black population is about 3 million, but you find out that the blacks are more with kidney failure than the regular white people.
So that is from the roots.
Yes,
that we come from.
Yeah,
Doctor, today many of the people with challenges in this country look up to you as a model, especially when you talk to the young folks now with challenges. Will tell you, if Dr. Jain can do, I believe I can do as well. You were number 2 at the main hospital in the Gambia, that is RVTH. You also lead in Mbowen Clinic, and you were going within this concurrently doing your services to both hospitals at the same time serving humanity behind the scene. What are some of the challenges that you get from the human perspective? How do people look at you as a people with disability leading me? We have that mentality in all the societies that we go to. Let's look at the positive, but we also go to look at the negative side as well. What do you share with us?
So, the point is that even the people with the so-called people without disability, you will always have people who will have their guts about what you do. I mean, they always will put obstacles in front of you. They are the ones who make you. They want to make
it motivates you to go further.
So for me, the people who see me as equals and they work with me, and those that help, they are people who probably are the ones that I link with. The ones that give me the reason to move forward are the ones who put obstacles in front of me. Yes, I used to be in Banjul, I used to be in Deban at the same time. I start my morning rounds in Deban in the morning at 7 o'clock, 7:30 I'm there, I start my rounds. At 10 o'clock I go to Banjul, at 2, 3 o'clock I come back to Deban. And when I finish, I come back, by 6, 7, 8, I close, I go back home, and as emergency I come back. I did that for since 2019, and even before I even took up this senior positions, I was doing that. Because the point is that, we don't have anything else apart from our people. And there's one thing that we Gambians lack, that I've seen, and I think that the people with disability in this country should look at with a different eye. When you go into certain countries that I won't mention names, but countries I've been to,
yes.
If you go to an environment and you have disability, the way they treat you and the way they treat you in Gambia is quite different. When I went to Ghana, I'll say this because when I went there, they were telling me, if you're in Ghana, you will not go to medical school. They will not allow you to go to medical school. Because it doesn't matter how smart you are, they will not allow you to go. And when I went there, I remember one time I went with my team, because I was much younger than most of the people who were working with me, because the medical school is quite rigorous to enter, and because most of the people, they are late to enter, so they are much older. When I went to the certain department, before they got to know me, when I entered there, they're like, the way they talk to you, before they know you are a doctor, and after they know that you are a doctor, you yourself will be surprised. But Gambia is different. We are too sympathetic to the disabled, and sometimes that gives us a difficulty for us to do what we need to do.
Absolutely.
But with what we have around, what we can do, there is so much we can do. If you look at the schools, the like skill
centers, yes.
If you dare to try, just try, you'll find out that there's something you can do. If you dare to try, you'll find out there's something you can do. But you know, our limitations are because people whisper in your ears, tell you, oh no, you know, this, you have to, they come to your house, bring you arms, then you are in a community, you are working with people. Even, you know, even today they give me arms when I go to the mosque.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh no, when I pray and finish, I come out, somebody come and put Father and in my hands, somebody will come and sit and in my hands. So yes, they do.
So that's
the perspective.
Yes.
So to change that narrative would be quite a challenge, but the point is that the people that are supposed to be the ones who should be in that position are the ones who need to be motivated to know that that is not the way.
Exactly.
I wake up in the morning and even at the hospital when I enter and I'm coming to do rounds, like I enter the ward. Those who don't know, when I enter the round, do the rounds, they're like, you know, Dr. Otipa, you know, Dr. Behana. I mean, I'm
because they don't expect to see the doctor come there.
Yes, the ones are coming into the place. Yes. So they will keep asking the question. I remember it wasn't really long ago. I went to Bondo Maternity Hospital and I entered the hospital and this security man told my driver who was behind me that he should take me to the emergency room without talking to me.
Just to take you to the emergency room, because there's a wheelchair.
And a wheelchair. So I didn't, because I was in a hurry to go and see somebody, so I passed. He followed me. I told him to take him to the emergency room. I said, oh, he's not sick. Why I take him to the emergency room? So to tell you that, like, until you are able to prove yourself worthy of it, people will still doubt you.
You are watching the Disability Hour on THD TV Gambia. I wish we have more time because I'm going deep into the conversation, but you always know, like the media, we are confined within the time frame that we need to work on, and I'm just missing signal. This is a platform that looks at the life of people like Dr. Abubakar Jain. These are people that have been doing and are still doing what many Gambians cannot do. And going by the story, during the COVID time, me and you will not go to that hotel just to save life. But he has done that through the process, and today we are here at a clinic where he works. Outside is full to the capacity waiting for him to just see them. So that is telling you the kind of son we have in Dr. Abubakar Jain. But Dr. Finally, you come from a family and you have your family. How is your family receiving, your this tight schedule? Because sometimes you go home now, in the next 10 minutes you're about to the hospital. And you have kids there, you have wife there. How do they receive this?
Like my daughter will say, are you the only doctor in the country? My daughter will say that, she's my best friend, so always say that, my wives always have their, I think they are getting used to it.
Yeah, they're kind of, they get used to it.
Because they've also become drivers. Because sometimes at the middle of the night when they call me, they have to drive me to hospital.
Oh God. So that means your studies have now transferred to the entire family.
Yes.
So your wife will drive you just to come and serve humanity.
Yes. In fact, at one time, I remember I was called to the emergency at night, and I came with my wife. She was lying in the car, in the front of the hospital, in the car, and I was there. And I arrived there was around 12 o'clock, and I left there was around 3 a.m. in the morning, because there was a problem at the emergency at the ICU, so I had to be there.
Yeah.
In fact, by the time we got home, she had all her arms were just mosquito bites. But I think they are getting used to it. But it's the way we, the life that you choose to live. If you have to do what we do, you need to be able to. Everybody who is associated with you will be involved.
Gambia, you have heard the story, and kudos to the wife, and we pray for the continued support that Doctor received. This is going to be one of the first interviews that we are going to serialize with Doctor. Like I said, there are a lot of things that people with disability need to know and learn from Doctor. Without dedication, commitment, perseverance, Doctor will not have been sitting here today treating people in every level of our society. So at this point of the program, we have come to the end, unless you have any final message to particularly the people that we serve in this program, that is our brothers and sisters with disability who, have somehow believe that they could not fit in societies?
No, you see, I believe society is meant for everybody. And how you place yourself in it,
That's how they take you.
I think that we have enough space for everybody. And I think that the reason why we call people with challenges is because that's why you should rise up to those challenges. And that is the way we should be thinking. And I will plead with parents who have children with disability to understand that what my father says is this: if other people's children can go to school, why can't you go to school? If other people's children can come with second, third in class, why can't you come with first? So he had always had his eye for more than me. My father, he's late. My father died. I was just going to start medical school. Yeah. But he told me, always tell me that if you can get first, why would you get second? Well, if you can get first in your class,
that's a great motivation.
Yeah, if you can get first, why you get second? Or why would you celebrate second? One time I went from school and I brought the result to him. He looked at it, and he went to secondary school, but he will analyze every subject that I did one by one. He will not look at what question I take. Maths, this, English is this, science is this. He will go through this one by one. He's a mechanic. My father was a mechanic. He'll go through this one by one. But this one, if you can get this, why can't you do better than this? But last time you got this, and this time you're getting this. My mother's in a school, but my father was like so keen about every little thing. And people come to the house and say, oh, Master Dallas is not already. He'll tell you, but how many people did you pass on the street?
Before you come and give my child a charity. So he was preparing you for today.
So I would plead with people, families, that they should be able to support their children with disability to achieve what they cannot achieve.
That is the best way to end it. To achieve what they could not achieve. Gambia, continue to watch the Disability Hour on THD TV. We want to remind you that sponsors are invited for this show, and you can also follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Until I come your way again with another episode, thank you for watching. Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure, honestly. The interview has been so creative. I think this will also serve, for many youngsters, especially people with challenges. But anyway, it's a pleasure having you despite the busy schedule. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay.